Reiner became well known as an actor after playing Michael Meathead Steak in the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family. He was the liberal son-in-law who was always at odds with Carroll O'Connor's character, Archie Bunker. The show rose to prominence as one of the most talked about and socially significant shows of its time, addressing weighty topics like politics, gender norms, race, and intergenerational strife through comedy. Reiner received a great deal of admiration and recognition for his performance. In addition to being a role that defined his career, it served as a launching pad for him, providing him with the self-assurance and recognition he needed to pursue other artistic endeavors after such a memorable television part. Many performers could have stuck to their typical roles, but Reiner reinvented himself as a filmmaker with a remarkable versatility. The 1984 cult classic This Is Spinal Tap, a mockumentary that has since grown to be one of the most cherished comedies of all time, marked his directorial debut. Its deadpan style and scathing critique of rock culture were what made it unique and prompted some people to mistake it for a legitimate documentary. The movie showcased Reiner's talent for capturing humor in ways that were both ridiculous and realistic, talent that would later become a defining characteristic of his work. After that, throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Reiner directed a number of highly regarded and financially successful motion pictures. Among these was Stand By Me 1986, a Stephen King adaptation that delicately examined issues of mortality, friendship, and the transition from youth to maturity. It is still regarded as one of the most moving coming-of-age movies ever produced. After that, he directed The Princess Bride 1987, a movie that blended comedy, fantasy, romance, and adventure, pushing the boundaries of genres. Despite having a low box office debut, it went on to become a cult classic and is currently regarded as one of the most adored movies in movie history. When Harry Met Sally 1989, a romantic comedy that revolutionized the genre with its clever banter, real examination of relationships, and memorable moments like the well-known dinner scene, demonstrated Reiner's flexibility once more. The movie marked a turning point in culture and enhanced his standing as a director who could successfully combine humor and profound human truth. Then, in 1992, he starred in the gripping military trial drama, A Few Good Men, which demonstrated his ability to handle high-stakes drama with the same dexterity he had used in comedy and romance. "You can't handle the truth," a phrase by Jack Nicholson that has become part of American pop culture, was one of the movie's most famous quotes. His versatility was initially noticed by audiences when he starred alongside Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito in the 1987 pitch-dark comedy, Throw Mama from the Train, which allowed Reiner to showcase his witty comedic timing. In 1993, he played a part that brought humor and empathy to the tale of love and second chances in Nora Ephron's cherished romantic classic, Sleepless in Seattle, further reminding audiences of his range as an actor. Then, using Reiner's talent for unconventional comedy, Woody Allen placed him in Bullets Over Broadway in 1994, where he demonstrated that he could flourish in sharp, fast-paced dialogue. Following that, Reiner appeared in a number of movies in the 1990s that solidified his reputation as a trustworthy and likable supporting actor. These included Ron Howard's satirical examination of reality television, EDTV, 1999, the political drama Primary Colors, 1998, and The First Wives Club 1996. Despite having varying tones, each performance demonstrated Reiner's versatility in fitting into any narrative he was a part of. Reiner also regularly starred in his own movies, frequently assigning himself parts that let him make fun of Hollywood while also adding to the plot. His role as faux documentarian Marty Durgi in This Is Spinal Tap 1984, the cult rock mockumentary he made that became a comedy film classic, is still his most famous self. In addition to a more somber supporting role in Shock and Awe 2017, he later granted himself roles in The Story of Us 1999 and Alex and Emma 2001, where he struck a mix between humor and emotion. His journalism drama centers on reporters looking into the Bush administration's justification for going to war in Iraq. His ability to transition between sarcasm and earnestness without ever feeling out of place was demonstrated by these performances. Reiner has frequently been prepared to make light of his public character outside of scripted roles. He made light-hearted appearances in comedies such as Dickie Roberts, Former Child Star 2003, where his readiness to mock himself demonstrated his self-awareness, and 30 Rock 2010, where his appearance was a witty jab to fans who were aware of him as a Hollywood insider and satisfier. Later he won over a new generation of viewers with frequent appearances on the popular television show New Girl, which aired from 2012 to 2018. His character gave the eccentric ensemble cast more nuance and tenderness. Additionally, he shocked viewers in 2013 by playing Leonardo DiCaprio in Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street, a film that was full of ferocity, mayhem, and incisive acting. Reiner has persisted in reminding viewers of his enduring relevance even in more recent years. He paid a moving homage to Dick Van Dyke and spoke with him on camera during the opening of the primetime CBS spectacular Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic in December 2023, spanning generations of entertainment history. The incident served as a reminder to viewers that Reiner is more than simply a character in Hollywood's narrative. He serves as a living link between the heyday of television, the innovative late 20th century movies, and the changing entertainment scene of today. Two notable marriages that influenced Rob Reiner's family and the trajectory of his artistic career have characterized his personal life. Reiner married actress and filmmaker Penny Marshall in 1971, at the height of his rising stardom as an actor and before his career as a director had taken off. In the entertainment world, Marshall was already well known for her humorous charm, her budding career that would later take off thanks to her work on the popular sitcom Lever and Shirley, and her eventual triumph as a trailblazing female director in Hollywood. Due to their marriage, two extremely talented people who were both heavily involved in the entertainment industry were housed together. Tracy Reiner, Marshall's daughter from his previous marriage to Michael Henry, was born in 1964 and was lawfully adopted by Reiner during their union. Tracy would go on to establish her own acting career, making appearances in several popular movies such as Die Hard, Apollo 13, and A League of Their Own. Despite their eventual 1981 divorce after 10 years of dating, Rob Reiner and Penny Marshall's union had a significant impact on Tracy's life and helped to forge ties inside the intricately knit Hollywood creative community. Both of them continued to be significant characters in the television and movie industries after their breakup, and their time together is still seen as a period when two avant-garde artists coexisted in both their personal and professional lives. A few years following his divorce, Rob Reiner's personal life had yet another significant change as one of his most famous movies was being made. Reiner got to know photographer Michelle Singer while filming the romance comedy When Harry Met Sally in 1989. Their chance encounter not only changed the course of Reiner's personal life, but also had an impact on the movie. Reiner claims that he changed the film's original ending because of his connection with Singer. His original plan was for Ryan and Billy Crystal, the two main protagonists, to split up without a romantic ending. Reiner, however, changed his mind after falling in love with Singer and chose to offer viewers the now famous happy ending that contributed to When Harry Met Sally becoming one of the most acclaimed romantic comedies ever. Their relationship evolved into a lifelong commitment beyond its cinematic influence. And later that same year, in 1989, Reiner married Michelle Singer. They created a family together and welcomed 3 kids into the world. Jake was born in 1991 and would go on to pursue a career in acting just like his father. Romy, the youngest of the Reiner children, was born in 1997. Nick, who was born in 1993, that had a career as a writer and has openly discussed personal hardships, even serving as inspiration for Reiner's 2015 film Being Charlie. Their family life has been stable and loving, and Reiner frequently attributes his happiness, equilibrium, and newfound sense of purpose to Michelle. In many respects, his union with Michelle Singer not only shaped one of his best-known movies but also provided him with the inspiration and stability he needed to carry on with his extensive and varied Hollywood career. Rob Reiner, who is now a well-known filmmaker, actor, and activist, that has had many amazing Hollywood encounters. However, working with Carroll O'Connor, the renowned actress who portrayed Archie Bunker on All in the Family, was one of the most influential times in his career. Fans conjectured for years about the relationship between O'Connor, who portrayed the racist but oddly endearing patriarch Archie Bunker, and Reiner, who portrayed the liberal son-in-law Michael Meathead Stiach. At 78 years old, Reiner has now publicly discussed their relationship, dispelling myths and rumors. Reiner reminisced about All in the Family's early years with wonder and a great deal of respect. One of the most talented actors I have ever had the honor of working with was Carroll O'Connor, Reiner acknowledged. People frequently fail to recognize the extent to which his extraordinary knowledge and consideration played that part. Archie Bunker might have been a one-note caricature or perhaps a cartoon. However, Carroll endowed him with humanity. He made him more complex. You despised Archie, but you somehow strangely understood him because of him. Carroll's genius was that, for many years, there were rumors that the generational and political split that their roles reflected was the reason why Reiner and O'Connor didn't get along. Some viewers believed that the heated conversations on screen reflected the tension that exists off-screen in real life. Reiner resolved this. We didn't engage in combat on camera. We weren't hostile to one another. The exact opposite. We were incredibly fond of one another. Carroll served as a mentor to me. Even simply seeing him work taught me a lot. How he could manipulate a scenario with a single glance or pause. I was amazed by him. Nevertheless, Reiner acknowledged that it was daunting to play against someone as powerful as O'Connor or Dot. I had to be at the top of my game whenever I entered a scene with Carroll, without ever mentioning it. He encouraged me to do better. As an actor, he simply set the standard so high that you had to meet it. The program itself addressed contentious issues including racism, sexism, politics, and war, and it frequently provoked contentious discussions across the United States. Reiner gave O'Connor credit for having the courage to assume this job. Carroll was well aware of his actions. He accepted that Archie would press people's buttons because he knew it would happen. If people aren't uncomfortable, then we're not doing our job, he once told me. I carried that with me throughout my career. As a filmmaker, I have been guided by the notion that art should confront rather than merely comfort. Reiner also discussed O'Connor's personal qualities, characterizing him as shy, kind, and profoundly contemplative. Carroll and Archie were completely different offset. He was polite and gentle, and he read often. He has a lot of knowledge. The real Carroll would surprise anyone who only knew Archie Bunker. He detested prejudice. He detested the very principles that Archie upheld. However, he performed them so honestly that occasionally people were perplexed. Carroll, however, never lost his sense of self. He was fully aware of his position. Over time, Reiner and O'Connor remained friends, and Reiner acknowledged that O'Connor had a significant impact on his life that went well beyond All in the Family's years together. He demonstrated to me how comedy can broaden people's perspectives. He demonstrated to me that an actor's role is to evoke emotions in others, even if doing so makes them uncomfortable. I took that with me when I directed movies like A Good Man and Stand By Me. That is the direct result of Carroll's influence. Reiner became thoughtful. When he was asked what he would like the world to know about OKCONOR. In all honesty, one of the nicest men I have ever encountered in this industry was Carroll O'Connor. When people saw Archie, they assumed Carroll might have had some of that in him, but he didn't. He was kind, encouraging, and really concerned about others. The figure was so powerful, but Carroll was nothing like Archie, so I believe that sometimes the world misinterpreted him, and I consider myself quite fortunate to have met him. Rob Reiner, who is 78, speaks with the authority of a lengthy and illustrious career, and his homage to Carroll O'Connor dispels long-held myths while also shedding light on the legacy of an actor whose performances are still relevant today, decades later. I loved him, Reiner said plainly. He was more than simply my co-star. He was also one of the greats, my instructor, and my friend.